Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Rich T Racing, and welcome to something that I've never done before, or certainly not on this channel. What I'm doing today is I'm going to be interviewing one of the members of the Club 100 community, and I'm very delighted to introduce Mr. Greg Smith from Club 100. He's got his own Facebook page as well. Greg, say hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all good. Yourself?
Yeah, very good. Thanks very much. You?
Lovely stuff. Of course, this obviously you reached out to me on this, and I'm very happy you did, because this is what I wanted. This is where I've been wanting to take the channel. And yeah, I think let's get into it straight away. I can see you're already on the tea or coffee or whatever you got going on there.
I've got the cup of tea with me.
So
I've got the cup of tea with me.
Nice. You've read your audience very well there. So
yeah,
you can stay. We'll allow that. That was coffee, different story. But yeah, anyway, let's jump into it. So before we get into the actual racing element of it, just tell me about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? What is your favorite tea? All that sort of stuff.
So I was born Gregory Christopher Smith in April of 1997 here in Bury St Edmunds in Suffolk. And yeah, obviously my favorite tea is just normal tea with milk in it and no sugars. So
good man.
That's how I like my tea.
Good man. Strong or weak?
Well, really depends, because I do like to put plenty of milk in. I do like a bit of tad of water in there just to keep it cool. So
yeah, okay.
But obviously not too hot. But no, I love my teas.
Yeah, no, fair play. The big question that I have to ask before we can continue this interview in a formal or sociable way, what's the correct order of doing your tea?
So I just put the kettle on, put the tea bag in the mug.
That's all I need. That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear. If you put milk in first, we'd be done. We'd be finished. Because if you are the type of person to put your tea in or put the milk in first, you are mental. So we won't go. Yeah, but we're all good there. Right. So obviously the main point of this interview is to go through is to ultimately just have a chat about karting. So I think we'll go take it from there. So tell me how did you get into karting?
Well, the first time I got into karting was when I went on a school trip with my school. We went on a little road trip to Kingswood, and I saw it. We went to the little go-kart circuit just around there. Yeah. I was around about 9 or 10 when I went there. So, okay. And then yeah, I stepped into a go-kart for the first time. Obviously binned it in the tire wall one or two times, but you know, it's just like any other normal kid having a go in a go-kart for the first time. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. So, and yeah, me and my family also went to the south of France for holidays, and we would go to the kart circuit near the beach. And then when I found out I was really good at it, I thought, do you know what? I'm bloody good at it, so I'll have a go. So, and then obviously Red Lodge was the next step. And then, yeah, that's where my career began, really. It all started at Red Lodge karting, just near Newmarket.
So how old were you when you started at Red Lodge? So was it the owner driver, or was it just hire karts?
It was just hire karts at first. Yeah. So I was around about 14 in late 2011 during about Christmas time.
That is roughly when that's about the same year I started as well. So that's a nice little coincidence there.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the Red Lodge marshals came up to me and said after the session, claiming that you were my favorite driver, geez, I think you might be good enough in Young Stars. And yeah, that's where my career started at Young Stars in 2012. And I nearly turned 15 at that point. So yeah, it's been a big, long journey for me, and I'm really happy where I am now.
Young Stars, what's that to a simpleton like myself?
So Young Stars are a Red Lodge-based driving school. They're a championship themselves, conducting of both seniors and cadets. So it's also like a mini endurance race. So like we would be put in pairs of two, and then yeah, we would just go out there and just tear it up, like do like 15-minute stints. And then yeah, figure out if we were going to win or come second or third or not. So but yeah, that's where it started for me. I had a great time Young Stars, and then in 2014 I won my first karting championship with them. So, and then yeah, just moved on from Young Stars afterwards.
So just sort of moving up the ranks of what Red Lodge were doing, and then still in higher karts, or moving into sort of slightly more advanced technology.
So still in higher karts at the moment, around about 4 strokes. I moved up to their Formula 270 RLK championship and I stayed on that for 2 years. I started in 2015 and then ended in 2016. And then that's where my going up and down the country routine started with Kart Sport, which was another 4-stroke series. So I would go in 2017, I would go to places like Wilton Mill, and all the other great karting circuits many drivers started their careers at. So we still went to my home one at Red Lodge, which was a big coincidence for me. So had a very lucky time there in Young Stars. So
happy days. No, that sounds great. It's not often you hear about like these tracks doing big old owner, sort of not quite owner kart, but their own championship that they then get their favorite guys into. So that's something that I wish I'd done myself, like at Buckmore when I started, but not quite in the level that they were looking for, I think. But we move on. Obviously, this channel is obviously a big Club 100 channel, and obviously that's what we're mainly here to talk about. So you've done your Young Stars, you've done your Cov Karts. When did you start here? When did you first hear about Club 100, and what made you decide to start coming racing with Club 100 itself?
So it all started when I started looking at Super GT, Steve Alvarez Brown's YouTube videos. And so, as we have already seen how good he is on circuit. So that's sort of where it all started. And I remember watching some of the BUKC videos hosted by Alpha Live, and the commentary by Double Dash Motorsport Media, as well as other Club 100 events. So, but no, Super GT really inspired me to move to Club 100 because the way he demonstrated his driving style, what best ways, just to get the best out of the car, get the best out of yourself, how to become a better driver. So that was around in late 2019. I started watching his videos and I thought, you know what, I might move up to this one because he's really good. So so
no, great. It's great. Yeah, Super GT. Obviously, I consider him a bit of a rival, but obviously he's in a different stratosphere compared to me. I just like to chat nonsense on here, and hopefully maybe one day I'll talk to someone that I've inspired. But until then, we're stuck with talking about Super GT. But no, that's all good. So coming into 2020. You signed up for the lightweight C3 sprint championship, didn't you?
Yes, that's correct.
And then, so obviously the first round would have been at Buckmore Park in February.
Yeah.
And then the next one wouldn't be until July for obvious reasons that I'm sure we're all sick to death of actually having to talk about. But aside from the big gap, talk me through your first season in Club 100. How did it go? What did you learn? What were your high points, low points? What was the main thing of that championship for you?
So the first round I was literally like almost peeing myself at this rate. I was like, what? Just got in my car and then drove straight to Buckmore and thinking, what am I doing? But as soon as I got there, as soon as I saw Super GT, I said, hello, how are you? I'm a big fan of your channel. So, and he volunteered to be my buddy driver for that weekend, so which was really helpful, and he made me feel so much better and settled me down very nicely. So obviously being a class 3 rookie for the first time, I had a really, really good time at Buckmore. So it was obviously really damp and wet, as you may know. But I knew I had the 4-stroke experience in my head because I'd already been to Buckmore like twice in 2018 and 2019. So I got into that 2-stroke machinery thinking, let's just settle down, let's just do the best we can. and I just felt so comfortable. I just fell in love with driving a Club 100 kart for the first time. So and then my heat wise, they were really good fun in the dry. And then I got as high as the B final, finished like 6th in my B final, 6th or 7th, just behind the BIKC lightweight champion Sam Slater, who I'm good friends with as well. So, and I won my first trophy in Club 100, the first for C3 too.
So is this still all at Buckmore Park? So your very first race, you got into the B final and won the round.
Yeah, well, I won for C3, not the actual round, but I won for class 3. So I was thinking, what the hell was I? Did I just do out there? So I think JV would probably be thinking, oh, hold on a minute, this is actually a very quick start by C3. So
yeah, when we this year, when me and my mates, we turned up at Clay to do what was our first endurance race. We put ourselves in the inters class. We came 9th and won the inters and won the clubmans as well. If we'd been clubmans, we'd have won. So we were like, oh, we might be getting bumped up soon, but we're still. I think what JV does, he looks at that sort of thing and says, you do get a couple of freak results here and there, and then what you see is it then just sort of levels out as the year goes on. But obviously, having spoken to you a bit before this interview and having looked at the results, obviously what happened at Buckmore carried on for you, because where did you finish at the end of the year?
I believe I was finished 32nd overall in the lightweight rankings, which is a big achievement for a C3, because I was well ahead of almost a lot of C2s, but well clear of the whole C3 field, such as Ramanas Sakauskas, Snarl Tui, and Jed Tool. Because they were my 3 biggest rivals last year. So it was my task just to beat them. So, and then get the trophy, which I've got in here actually, if you want to have a look at it. But
go on, get it out. Why not? So obviously you won.
Pretty humongous. So probably the biggest trophy I've had in my career. Here we go.
Wow, that barely even fits. That is a magnificent thing. So you won the championship overall, which for your first season is obviously a big achievement, even if technically it is the lowest of the championships, but still to win a championship, which is what I'm trying to do this year, is it's a fraught undertaking. So the fact you were able to do that is amazing. So massive congratulations to you. Obviously coming into this year, you've done, obviously we took a little bit longer to get the year going. You've obviously taken that confidence from the championship last year and taken it now. You're racing in C2, so the class above. Yes. And I know you got your first podium at Rye last time out, which is again fantastic achievement. But what I want to know more is what for you is the difference between racing in C3 and racing in C2. What other challenges are there other than as well just trying to drive as fast as you can and do the best you can?
So, well, the difference between me last year in C3 and this year in C2, obviously, when you're a C3 rookie, you get bumped down to the back. I mean, which is fine by me, because it's a lot more fun coming from the back, because then you can just showcase your talents, depending on how good your skill set really is. But obviously with C2, you're moved right up through the field and right in the thick of it amongst the C1s and other quick C2s as well. So obviously I found out back at Buckmore just before Rye this year, I was put in up against the likes of Ed Bars, Chris Alcock, Owen Genman in the first Buckmore heat, and I got absolutely annihilated by all 3 of them. So, but obviously Chris Alcock, as we know, has moved up to heavyweights now, as we have seen. So that does take a little bit of pressure off my shoulders. But of course, you still got the other Applewood boy of Mike Coppin, who's ranked at number 3 in the LW rankings. So
is he a C2? No, honestly, is he C2 or C? Is Mike Coppin C2 or C1?
He's C1. He's ranked at number 3 in the Club 100 lightweight rankings. So judging by, because he was 3rd last year. Yeah. So he's seeded at number 3 this year.
Right. So for you, it's the caliber of driver you're now going up against. Just how much more almost demanding it is, how much more you've got to be in your game. That's like the big difference between C2 and C3.
Yeah, so like obviously now, because I'm in C2, I can now just focus on every C2 around me. I don't have to worry about C1s, because they're the quickest guys. If I'm going to get annihilated by them, you know what, I might as well just not worry about it. Even if they pass me, I'll just follow what they're doing. So and then just get the best result out of myself and get it possible. So, and beat as many C2s as I possibly can.
Absolutely.
So that's my big goal for this year.
Yeah, perfect. So obviously we're 5 rounds in, but I think you've only done 3 rounds so far, looking at your results from the year. So obviously you've taken already two dropped rounds. Are you gunning for the championship this year, or are you sort of just, let's see how this year goes, then focus on next year to try and give it a proper good go?
I'm not gunning for the C2 title this year, because as we all know, Peter Knight is just in a complete class of his own. Any track you can just give to him, he can just do it blindfolded, in my opinion. Alistair Irvine, as we know, straight into number 2. He's just like checked out for 2nd place, so it's all on for 3rd. But I did miss Clay Pigeon and the 1st and the 2nd one at Wilton, the first of the meetings, which I was absolutely gutted with, because I stayed at my nan's house just before that weekend, and to find out that I was not on the grid just sunk me. I was devastated not to take part. So
was it? Did you have the round booked, or did it just not quite work out?
So unfortunately, my brother's wedding was meant to be on that weekend. And when we had a Zoom call over the phone about it, they suspended it at the last minute.
Right.
Then I got in contact with Club 100 management saying, are there any spaces left for Wilton Mills? So and then just had my phone on sound nearly all week while working, and just had like literally no contact from them. So, and I knew straight away it was coming. So unfortunate, but that's just the way it is.
No, I'm going through a similar thing right now with Elo next week, because I was meant to be going to the Hungarian Grand Prix next week, but EasyJet kept mucking us about, and it was obviously a lot of money I put down for it, and I had an opportunity to get my money back, and I got it back. It was actually very easy, and I've actually now just got pretty much everything back for it, but I still couldn't have gone because I'm not double jabbed, and I'd have to come back and self-isolate for 10 days and do all the PCR tests. I can't be bothered to be doing that. So I'm in for the endurances next week, but I'm still holding out hope that an SP60 seat comes up, because that's my championship. That's the one that I'm personally gunning for the most. So it's going to be probably annoying to have to then drive off, but that is unfortunately how these things go. It's obviously Club 100 has become it's insane how popular Club 100 is now. I mean, it already was massively popular, but going to a track like Elo, which is a bit out of the way, it's not your normal track, and the fact that SP60 in the afternoon is fully booked, not a chance, shows where this championship has got to nowadays. So I think it's something it's great to be a part of. Annoying when you don't get in, but fair play, Steph. You're still gunning for 3rd. I think that's how, from the sounds of it, that's something you can definitely do, and obviously wish you the best for that. But what I want to know now is, outside of the actual results and all this, what are you like as a racing driver? What's your pre-race routine? How are you at just before the whistle goes and it's like engines on, time for the start? And what are you like just generally in your racing? Are you a fast, aggressive driver, or do you, obviously fast, but do you like to take your time on it?
So currently at the moment, I'm in the process of what I like to call the George Russell process of just understanding more about, the 2-stroke machinery, the Club 100 chassis itself, going to different tracks that I've never been to before, and just like see how it behaves in a certain, areas. Obviously last year I was very well laid back, just taking my time, just getting used to the whole machinery. And of course, yes, but still beating the other C3s is a great achievement, but I still had a lot to learn about 2-stroke machinery. because I've never driven a 2-stroke kart before in my life. I've only been driving like 4 strokes for many years. But now, obviously, this year I've now sort of stepped up my game, as you may have noticed at Rye House.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm sort of trying to take the Montoya style approach to it. So, because I do look back on the other drivers in the current generation of today, and Formula One drivers back in the past, and like how they take the aggressive or cool, calm, and collected approach. So I'm sort of cool, calm, and collected in my head, but obviously a bit more aggressive now than what I was last year. So I'm still in the George Russell process at the minute, but I'm taking the more of like the Montoya style aggressive approach now on who I'm up against.
No, great. I think that's something that comes, like, you like to, in your head, you like to think you're being calm and collected, but really you are properly going for it. And I'm sure that's what, like, some of those drivers you mentioned, that's how they feel. On the inside, they're quite cool and calm, but they're still properly aggressive and going for it. I think it's that balance you've got to find between making sure you actually get to the end of the race, because obviously that's the most important thing, to make sure you get to the end of the race and you finish well at the same time. You've got to find that balance, and sometimes you can risk it and go for the do or die, but that can obviously end up coming down here, and then you go too calm, you're down here as well. You want it's again somewhere in the middle, especially for people like us we're not at the very front of the field. We're trying to run our own race. I think that balance best place to be. Perfect. Right. Let's move on as well. So getting towards the end of this now, what do you think you need to improve on the most as you continue to get more experience? What would you say is your biggest weak point that you need to iron out to make yourself maybe one day getting into that C1 class?
Yeah, so the biggest things I need to improve on is just mainly the weather conditions and track temperatures, because I still tend to struggle in my first heat and settle down into the race. So that's what I'm sort of struggling with at the minute. But I mean, just doing my best just to beat as many C2s as I possibly can. Obviously, forgetting Peter Knight and Alistair Irvine this year, but no, honestly, my job is to completely beat as many C2s as I possibly can, and then to see what best result I can get at the end of the day. So, and make more A finals as well. So I reached my first A final at Rye House, which was a great achievement. So, and I'm pretty sure I can do a whole lot more now than what I was last year. So
it's just about becoming that sort of more complete driver sort of thing.
Yeah, just be a bit more aggressive, but still process more of like understanding and setting up the kart, how it behaves on course. So and also, my wet weather skills as well, because I'm just not as good in the wet at all. I hate the rain. So if the rest of the season remains dry, then that's fine by me. So I know probably for a reason we will probably have 1 or 2 more wet rounds. So we'll see.
It's great. It's Great Britain getting towards the autumn phase. If it's we've had, obviously Wilton was a wet one. We haven't had any. That's the only one so far. But I'll be staggered again if for the rest of this year we don't have at least 1 more wet round. I personally, I love the wet. I think that's because I'm a bit of a heavier guy. And I think there's just something gives me a little bit more of a natural advantage, which is when where obviously I'm always trying to lose a bit of weight here and there. But when the rain comes down, I'm like, actually, no, I'm very happy being where I am at the moment. So that's like the race. Obviously, I've seen quite a few posts from you about some of the things you're also doing outside of karting or karting related. What does karting do for you? How does karting influence your daily life? Like, how do you use karting to help yourself in effect?
So, I mean, I can show my lid to you if I want you to. That might help.
Go for it.
So, if you notice very carefully there, you notice there's a ribbon on top of it and on my back. So what that is it's called the Autism Awareness Ribbon.
Yeah.
So when I was around about 5 or 6 years old, I was diagnosed with a disability called autistic spectrum disorder, as well as other learning difficulties and special needs that I've had throughout my entire life. So what I found out in 2017 that I was diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder. That just, of course it shook me a bit, but it just helped me become a better person. So of course, looking for work was really, really tricky for me because of my disability problem. But no, I think it's thanks to all the efforts of the social enterprise company who I work for, called Harry Spectors in Ely, just outside Cambridge, which is who are a social enterprise company that employ people with autistic spectrum disorder. It gives them the opportunity to work in paid employment and bring change to the public sector, which is a big achievement. So, and we have been on the headlines as well as other national radios as well. So yeah, it's all because of them. They wanted me to get this design done. And of course, speaking on like the Anna Kennedy OBE show, as well as BBC Radio Suffolk, has really helped me become a much better person now.
Oh, that's great. And yeah, that is great to hear, the fact that, like, speaking to you now would never have had a clue there was that you did have this disability, because you come across fantastic. And so thanks to karting, that's it's kind of been like a focal point for you, for like, if there are issues, it's like, no, I've got my karting, I'm all sorted, sort of thing.
So, well, no, karting has definitely gave me a really good think about what I want to do for the rest of my life. But of course, I've still got to keep earning money job wise, just to keep me racing. But yeah, it's definitely given me a lot more opportunities to start thinking about what am I going to do after life at Harry Spectors. Of course, I still want to keep racing, but I want to make that extra step up now into what my future will hold up next.
No, that's great. That is great. And it's great to hear that you're forward thinking and not letting it get you down, which is, I think that's the main thing from my perspective, at least, that's how to go through life, no matter what obstacles throws at you. You get through it and move forward. I think is the best thing. Keep your foot on the accelerator, if you pardon the pun.
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest achievement.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Well, Greg, thank you so much for suggesting this interview in the first place. I can take no credit for it whatsoever. It's been great chatting to you, getting to know you more as a driver, as a person as well. And obviously, I wish you the best of luck with the rest of the season. Hopefully, you get.
Thank you very much.
I'm hoping you get in with the likes of Alcock and Irvine. Hopefully, knock them off their pedestal a little bit. But if you can try and get to that third place in the championship, I think that would be a fantastic result for you. And I wish you the best of luck with it.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you very much for this. Thank you very much.
No worries at all. So I don't know if this is working on my computer. We might cut to just me by myself, but thank you very much for watching this interview with myself and with Greg. Obviously, Greg, what's the name of your Facebook page, so I can give it a little plug?
So it's at Greg Smith. Sorry, it's at Greg Racing Roman initials 12, and I do have Instagram as well. But I've been having a really terrible time today trying to sort it all out. So
you got hacked or something?
Yeah, I was hacked on Thursday now because I've activated my TFA. I've changed my password around. So now I'm really struggling to log back into it, and I've been waiting for a text message for a 6-digit code for me to get back in, and they still haven't sent me anything. So yeah, but yeah, my Instagram is Greg Smith 12_12. Obviously at lowercase letters, so but _12. That's where people can find me as well.
Brilliant. There we go. That's perfect. And obviously make sure to follow Greg on there as well. And of course, if you've come across this video and you're not subscribed to Rich T Racing 2, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. So when the new videos come out, hopefully we'll do more of this stuff if this goes down well, which I'm sure it will. But Greg, thank you so much for coming on Rich T. Look forward to seeing you. Maybe I'll see you at some point during the season out on the track. But
Yeah.
All I shall say for now, and Greg, if you can join in if you want, is ta-ta and farewell.
See you later. Thank you very much.